Well, hello and welcome from the CN Center here in Prince George. A very quiet CN Center, unlike a weekend ago where the Portland Winterhawks and the Prince George Cougars did battle in the first two games of their first round Western Hockey League quarterfinal series. Brendan Paulo here riding solo on this episode of Hockey North Weekly. We'll get to the Cougars, we'll get to the Spruce Kings, and we'll get to the playoffs across the junior hockey circles here in this action-packed episode of our podcast. First and foremost, since we're here, we'll dive right into it. Prince George Cougars, Portland Winterhawks, games 1 and 2 live from a very packed CN Center Friday and Saturday. Prince George, a miraculous comeback on Friday, down deficits of 4-1 and 5-2, storming all the way back with 4 third-period goals to draw even at 6-6. And, of course, Tarek Parasak, the overtime winner, right from this very end, where Andrei Stebitak left the net off on his own footing there, where the puck went in. Parasak made it 7-6, and it was a 1-0 series lead for the Cougars at that point. Then on Saturday, in front of a sold-out CN Center, the Portland Winterhawks getting retribution on the Cougars, winning 5-2 the next night to even up the best-of-7 series at 1 game apiece. Cougars unable to carry forward the magic from a night ago to take that early stranglehold of the best-of-7. They are now down at Portland, getting set for games 3, 4, and 5 down at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum from the Rose City in Portland. It's a 2-3-2 format, as you know, so Portland playing 3 in a row at home against Prince George. So Cougars ideally have to win 1. You'd rather win 2 and put the pressure on the Winterhawks coming back here for games 6 and a possible 7 next Sunday and Monday here at CN Center. So shaping up to be an interesting series as we take a look across the Western Hockey League. Lethbridge Hurricanes with Miguel Marquez of Prince George. They're up 2 Cobb over the Brandon Wheat Kings, taking care of business on home ice. Hunter Lang, Evan Gardner of the Saskatoon Blades. They're down 2-0 heading back to the Bridge City against the Calgary Hitmen. Medicine Hat Tigers, a 2-0 series lead over Swift Current. Prince Albert, Edmonton knotted up at 1 game apiece. Everett and Seattle doing battle. That's a 1-1 series. Both games going to overtime at Angel of the Winds Arena there. Victoria, stranglehold on Tri-City, up 2-0 there. Spokane up 2-0 on the road in Langley. Building availability issues for Spokane, even though they were the higher seed to start that series on the road. And then, of course, you got the Cougars and the Winterhawks knotted up at a game apiece. BCHL, the improbable happened for the Prince George Spruce Kings. Langley Rivermen losing both home games on the final weekend of the season. Prince George winning both against the Powell River Kings Saturday and Sunday. So here's a scenario. Langley was up 4 points going into the final weekend. Only had to get the 1 point from Prince George perspective in order to have a mathematical chance of tying Langley and getting the tiebreaker. Langley losing 3-2 in overtime on Friday to Coquitlam. They were up 2-1 with 1:40 left. Langley ties it up late, then wins it in overtime. Then on Saturday, Chilliwack Chiefs roll into Langley, sit 3 of their top 5 scorers, arguably their best defensemen, their 2 top goaltenders, and dress a couple of APs and start their third-string goalie, and end up beating the Rivermen 7-5 in that game. Chilliwack was shorthanded, a pair of 5-on-3s late in the third period, not scoring on either of those. They did score 1 goal each on those 5-on-3s, but not multiple to tie or come ahead. So flip it over to the Spruce Kings. They take care of home ice Saturday and Sunday, a 5-4 win on Saturday, followed by a 5-0 shellacking against Powell River on the Sunday. So Prince George gets the 8th seed in the Coastal Conference. They'll be playing the Chilliwack Chiefs Friday and Saturday down in the Fraser Valley. Series will then shift back for games 3 and 4 in the Northern Capital next Tuesday and Wednesday, April 8th and 9th. And then you got pretty much a best of 3 after that, 1-1-1 to end the series there. So good luck to the Spruce Kings in terms of their playoff series against the Chilliwack Chiefs. They played Chilliwack very tough all year round. They only beat them once out of 7 opportunities, but in 4 of those 7 games, only separated by 1 goal. And Charles Edward Gravel only started in 1 of those 7 games. That was a shootout loss last Saturday on the road to the Chilliwack Chiefs. And with more on accomplishing the playoff spot on the last day of the season, here are our guests on this week's episode. It's Spruce Kings overagers, Charles Edward Gravel, as well as Vanderhoof product, Linden Makow. Spruce Kings captain and Vanderhoof product, Linden Makow. What a way to end your season. 2 big wins at home. You get some help along the way with Langley only getting 1 point in their last 2 games of the season. But you get there, you get that final spot on home ice against Powell River. You'll play Chilliwack in the first round. Must be a pretty good feeling in there.
Yeah, it's a great feeling in the dressing room right now. We're a little bit skeptical coming in, dependent not just on us, but on Langley. And, never doubt us. We're always in the fight.
Yeah, 8 points back, February 2nd, when Charles Edward Gravel, your starting goalie, signed with your team. What allowed your group to, keep the faith, stay in the fight, and believe that this was possible?
I think, our older guys, we just tried to play for our older guys and tried to rally around our goalie. Our goalie's been hot, and, he's one of the reasons that we're in the position we are right now.
What makes him so effective on your team and giving your team so much confidence?
I mean, he's a great guy in the dressing room, even better guy on the ice. And, we always have the confidence if something goes wrong in our end that he's going to bail us out.
You're taking on Chilliwack. It's a 1 versus 8 matchup. It sure doesn't feel that way given how tough you've played Chilliwack this season. What makes you confident in this group that you can give the top-rated Chiefs a run for their money?
I mean, we've had close games with them all season. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a hard-fought series.
What does this mean to you in your final season? You're 20. You've been around this organization for 5 years. Just talk about what it means to clinch on home ice and to get to do this in the playoffs one more time.
Yeah, I mean, it's super special. I mean, I've had quite the experience here at the Spruce Kings, and it's pretty cool that we clinched this game at home.
Yeah. Any thoughts kind of going on your mind in regards, to playoffs, or just kind of thinking like, we finally did it? Because, it wasn't easy at times. You had some injuries. You had some players leave because of the eligibility changes. You replaced your coach halfway through the season. I mean, there's a lot that went on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a year of ups and downs, but, I mean, we're a super resilient group, and we've just found a way to battle back every game.
All right. Thank you, Linden.
Thank you.
Fighter with Prince George Spruce Kings goaltender Charles Edward Gravel. Charles, home ice, you pull through. You win twice against Powell River. You get some help along the way from Chilliwack and Coquitlam, but you clinch that final playoff spot to play the Chiefs. Must be pretty exciting in that room right now.
Yeah, well, obviously that was the objective, to make playoff, and we did 2 big wins this weekend, and that's what we did. We worked really hard as a group, so yeah, I think we deserved it.
Could you just talk about what this whole experience has been like for you? You come in here February 2nd, 8 points back in the final playoff spot at that time. You come in, you take control of the net, you give this team a jolt of confidence. What's the past 2 months been like for you?
Well, it was awesome, honestly. I had a lot of fun. That's a great group of guys, so I don't know. Every day I come to the rink, everyone's working hard, everyone's happy, so it's just an easy way to improve, I guess. So, yeah, that's how it's been.
You're a 20-year-old, like some of these players on this team. It's your last crack at it in junior hockey. I guess, just talk about the added motivation to go on a run again.
Well, you know what? Playoffs is the best time of the year. Everyone loves playoffs. You never know what can happen. It's always intense games, so I'm really excited to get that started.
And you're someone that loves to play the puck.
Yeah.
Likes to head stretch man pass with your teammates and that sort of thing. When did that become an asset to your game, and why do you enjoy playing the puck so much?
Well, that'll be a funny answer, but I just love the ODR during wintertime, so I guess that's how I improved it, and I don't know. I guess I like playing the puck a lot, so yeah.
You ever watch Martin Brodeur, Marty Turco a lot when you were younger? Because they love to play the puck too.
Yeah, well, these guys were awesome, so of course I looked them up, yeah.
Now, you're from Lévis, Quebec, closer to Quebec City than Montreal.
Yeah.
Coming up through the minor hockey system as a kid growing up, who did you try and idolize as goaltenders?
Well, I have a family with a bunch of goalies. Well, 2. So my cousin and my uncle, both of them are drafted in the NHL. So I looked them up when I was younger. And that's pretty much why I'm playing as a goalie right now.
And who are your cousin and uncle?
My cousin's Alexis Gravel and my uncle is François Gravel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess just talk about, you have a lot of experience, over 200 games in the QMJHL. You helped take your team to the final last year. Just talk about how your major junior experience can be an asset, and knowing that you've done this before going to the final.
Well, yeah. So obviously, I played a lot of playoff games after 5 years in juniors. So I think the key for that is to stay calm and don't put too much pressure on yourself and just go and work hard and win games.
What do you think your biggest asset is as a goaltender?
My biggest assets, um, I'll say confidence. I believe I just enjoy playing games, so I think I don't put too much pressure on myself, and I think it helps me a lot.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Charles. Good luck in the playoffs, and best of luck to you down the stretch.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That was Charles Edward Gravel and Linden Makow, the Prince George Spruce Kings, on the big weekend they had, clinching the 8th and final playoff spot in the BCHL playoffs. They will take on the top-rated Chilliwack Chiefs in their first round, as we mentioned, Friday and Saturday from the Chilliwack Coliseum. Of course, games 3 and 4 will be shifting back to the Copar Memorial Arena on next Tuesday and Wednesday, April 8th and 9th, and then it'll be a 1-1-1 format afterwards, providing the series goes past 5 games. Switching gears to the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, we do have a few Caribou Cougar alumni still playing in the SJA playoffs. Landon Alexander, Reed Arbery of the Flin Flon Bombers. They have a 3-2 series lead in the best of 7 against the Humboldt Broncos. They're facing off against former teammate Merrick Mamek of the Broncos, so that's been a pretty good quarterfinal series up until now. And Josh Sale, the Weyburn Red Wings, they're up 3-2 against the Battlefords in their best of 7 series. Of course, Josh Sale, another one of those former Caribou Cougars. So we're cheering for our 4 players of Caribou descent in that one. Finals in the first round in that league, Yorkton Terriers punching their ticket, winning 4-1 over the Melville Millionaires, and the Melfort Mustangs upending the Kindersley Clippers by a 4-1 margin. MJHL playoffs, pretty entertaining first round, best of 7 between Portage Terriers and the Steinbach Pistons. Decker Moinchin, Scott Cousins, Will McKay, members of the Portage Terriers. They're up 3-2 as we record this episode of the podcast against the Steinbach Pistons. Winklers up 3-2 in their best of 7 against the Niverville Nighthawks. Dauphin winning their best of 7, 4-1 against Wayway Sakapo. And the Northern Manitoba Blizzard punched their ticket to round 2 after a first-round victory over the Neepawa Titans. Now to the KIJHL, we do have a couple of Northern connections there, as well as one of the teams still going. Okanagan Shuswap Conference Final, Grand Forks Border Bruins. 2-zip lead over the Kimberley Dynamiters in that third-round series. Prince George's Jasper Tate, Keenan Holland of Smithers, as well as Telquist Thomas Clark, all members of the Grand Forks Border Bruins. So congratulations to those 3 on getting this far, and hope they can take it a couple steps further as they look to punch their ticket to the KI Finals. And the 100-mile House Wranglers knotted up at 1s apiece against the Revelstoke Grizzlies. That series coming back to 100 Mile for games 3 and 4 Tuesday and Friday, or Monday and Tuesday rather, in 100 Mile House. So should be a packed barn there down in the South Caribou for that conference final series, as Revelstoke is one of the better teams in the KIJHL. So good luck to the Wranglers and company. And of course, be remiss not to mention that it's the regional playdowns for all the teams still alive in the chase for the 2025 TELUS Cup down in Chilliwack. We'll actually be in the Chilliwack Coliseum from April 21st to 27th covering that tournament. So follow along on our Facebook and other social media channels on Buzzsprout, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you get your Hockey North content from. Well, we'll be there for that entire week down in the Fraser Valley, home of the Chiefs, Chilliwack Coliseum, and happy to see the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds as well as the remainder of the field compete for the national championship in U18 AAA hockey. That'll do it for this week's episode of Hockey North Weekly. I'm Brendan Paulo, wrapping things up for another week. Special thank you once again to Charles Edward Gravel and Linden Makow of the Prince George Spruce Kings. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week.